Wonderful. All right, quick introduction to me. My name is Janice. I'm your Canva learning consultant. So my main role with Canva is professional development. So I work with teachers all over the world to share how to use Canva in the classroom. I came from the classroom. I was a teacher and an instructional coach for 15 years. And I've actually been using Canva in my own classroom since 2014. So long before Canva for Education, but it's been really exciting to see Canva for Education really grow and change over the last few years. This is where you can find me on social media. Mostly post about Canva. So if you want to stay connected, we're seeing any challenges we have coming up, things like that, that is where you can find me. And we'll dive right in. So there were lots of new users in the chat. So we are going to start just really briefly about what Canva is. So Canva at its core is a visual communications platform. So anything you want to create or communicate visually, you can do that in Canva. I think in the beginning, Canva got known for graphic design and those types of things, which you can totally do in Canva, but Canva truly does have a full visual work suite. And we're going to look at a lot of these things today as we talk about how to get students in and creating everything from documents to whiteboards, presentations, social media, video products, and even websites. Excuse me. And Canva's mission is really to empower everyone to create, collaborate, and communicate in the classroom and beyond. So turning our students into creators and teachers into creators in a really easy to use platform. So into the good stuff. What can you create in Canva? So we use this in a lot of our sessions. If you've taken a session with me before, you probably have seen this slide, but it is a good reminder, especially with so many newer users on the call. I do want to take a moment to look at this. So with Canva for Education, you have access to over 70,000 education-specific templates, but you also have access to everything in our Pro account. So that's over 700,000 templates, 100 million elements. So there's lots of things you can do. So these lists, and I know it's kind of tiny, so apologies for the little font, but this is by no means every single thing you can create in Canva. It's just a broad list of template collections that we do have. And so again, not every single thing, just a big list of templates that we do have. So we share this to really show the variety of things that are available. And again, a lot of these things you'll notice maybe aren't education specific because we're not solely an education company, but they can be really easily flipped into the classroom. So I'm going to give you a minute to skim this over and just see kind of what you notice on here. We are going to do a little bit of a template dive in a little bit. So if there's anything that's interesting or stands out, you can go ahead and kind of make yourself a note of that or jot yourself a little note. But I'm going to give you a minute to skim it over and see all of the different options. Again, not every single thing in Canva, just a broad variety of some of our options that we do have for templates. Video collage, we have lots of great video options. We're definitely going to talk about that. Zoom backgrounds, obviously make mine in Canva too. Google Classroom headers, lots of great Google connections there. So you can make your Google Classroom look really festive or creative as well. Yearbooks, fun fact, Canva did actually way back in the very, very early days start as a yearbook company. So we don't print yearbooks anymore, but we do have great partnerships with companies who do, and people can design those pages in here, video ads, Zoom backgrounds, books, but we have whole storybook templates and book covers. Those are really fun, especially for younger learners. More video, seating charts. I always love when someone notices seating charts. I will tell you, if you search seating chart in the Canva template library, like 95% of what you get is wedding seating charts because we're not just an education company, but there are education ones in there too. So, but also a lot of event ones. Graphic organizers, that's definitely going to come up today. Book covers, comic strips. We're definitely going to talk about comic strips today. Graphic novel pages, love that. Websites. You can absolutely make websites in Canva. So can students. There's lots of safety in place, so students also can't just publish to the web. We're going to talk about t-shirts and flashcards today too. Awesome. You guys are noticing all the good stuff. So the goal of today is not only to share how to use it in the classroom with students, but also to show that Canva doesn't, you don't have to reinvent the wheel to use Canva. It's going to support the things that you're already doing. And that's really what we're going to look at today is some of the templates and tools that can support projects and things that you already do that Canva can either help maybe make it easier or more efficient or even elevate and reimagine that project. So for example, bringing designs to life. So in a classroom, you could give students a poster or a one pager, and they can do those on paper. You could have them do a digital poster or a digital one pager where they're designing kind of in this rectangle space. Or you could have them kind of flip that a little bit, and you could have them do like a t-shirt template where they're still designing in that rectangle space. They're using images and text to demonstrate their understanding of a topic, but they are able to put that onto a t-shirt template. They don't have to print the shirts, obviously, but they can preview that on a t-shirt. They can preview that on a coffee mug. So there's lots of fun ways to kind of reimagine those projects that you're already doing. And then this was just kind of the meat, and we're going to talk about this frequently throughout the presentation today, but creatively presenting information. So if you can have students complete a worksheet, or if you can have them create a slide or a slideshow about something, there's so many other ways and other things that they can do with that information. So they can create an ID card, whether it's on a storybook character, a book, a book character that you're reading, a historical figure, famous person, whatever it might be. I've even seen this done with like elements of the periodic table. So creating badges and ID cards or postcards to and from somebody. Mock social media posts. So this is actually a 7th grade student who created this. And she created this Instagram for a historical figure, and then a post here. Scrapbook pages, newspapers, vision boards, you name it. We're going to discover lots of different ways to think through this, but lots of ways to creatively present information. And we also have really easy video tools. So video is a whole session in itself, but you'll see lots of ways that you can also use video. So I think we think video and we think huge production, and it doesn't have to be that way. Video can be just animated words with an animated image, and you can easily bring your story to life. You could do a math problem and solve a math problem. You can summarize the chapter of a book. Lots of ways to very easily and quickly create video, and we'll talk a lot about that today as well. So how can Canva be used to capture the student learning journey? We're going to look at the learner as a whole. So I want to just pause really fast and answer the question in the chat, and then we'll dive in. Our templates and designs copyright free and commercially usable. So you can use them in your classroom. You can share them with students. They are 100% free. You cannot take them and then sell them or do anything that would make profit, but you can use them. You can post them for your classroom, for your school, for your district, community, things like that. Absolutely, they are free for you to use. Everything here is 100% free. All right. So as we look at the learner, we're going to look at the learner as a whole. So I know the meat of this is really going to be in those projects and assignments, but when a student enters your classroom, they have to also do other things besides just that project. And one of those things is those executive functioning skills. They need to be a good learner and learn how to be a good learner. So how can Canva support executive functioning in the classroom? One way is goal setting. So as we go through these slides, this presentation, I apologize, is a little bit slide heavy at first, but then we'll dive in. You'll see down here in the bottom, there's like a magnifying glass and a little search term. These are the search terms for the templates that we're highlighting. So if anything stands out to you or you find interesting or you would use in your classroom, we are going to have an opportunity to dig through the template library. So maybe make yourself a note or a mental note if you find something you're interested in, and you'll have a chance to explore that in just a little bit. So as we talk executive functioning, one thing that you can do in the classroom is goal setting. If you're doing goal setting in the classroom, you can have students write those goals on paper, but you could also use Canva to create a really visual representation of those goals. They can handwrite things, they can use graphics and images, they can use text, whether that's academic, personal, whatever it might be, whatever type of goal, they can do that within Canva. We also have lots of great planner pages. So we talk about these a lot more at the beginning of a school year, but also maybe wouldn't hurt to revisit right after that winter break. What I love about the student planners is that every student doesn't need the exact same thing. So not every planner works for every student. So with Canvas templates, they can really customize the planner page that they need that's going to best work for them. Some kids need a minute by minute or hour by hour time schedule. Some of them want assignment checklists or notes, or some kids want to see a whole week at a time. So it's really dependent on the student, and they can really customize these planner pages. They can use them digitally, or they can print them out. They can create their own themes. They could have sports or cats or whatever they want on here. So those planner pages can be really beneficial for students as well. Habit trackers. So if you have students who need to really have a little bit of extra tracking to support themselves, Canva has lots of great tracking sheets. They don't have to be habit trackers. The nice thing about our templates is with a few word changes, you could use these for a lot of different things. It could be an assignment tracker. It could be, a reading tracker, all kinds of different things. So even though it says habit tracker, they're already set up for tracking anything, whatever it might be in the classroom. So you could easily modify those to fit your needs. Vision boards, I think this goes both ways. This could easily be a great student project. It also kind of goes back to that goal setting. So it could be a project based on a character in a book or something, or they could do it for themselves and really create those visions as they go through the school year. And then after we get through that executive functioning, we have activating prior knowledge. So when you get those students and you want to see what they already know, Canva has ways to support that as well. And one of those is a KWL chart. So we have lots of great KWL charts. Someone said graphic organizer. We're going to get into those, but specific types of graphic organizers like KWL charts are also available. Again, students can handwrite, they can draw, they can put in graphics, they can type text. A lot of our templates, this one doesn't show it, but a lot of templates also have a second page with resources. So students can just drag and drop text boxes for those younger learners who may need it. We also brainstorm templates. I think so often we think of those really kind of, organized brainstorms. You can do these as whole group, small group, or independent work. There's so many different styles of brainstorms in Canva, whether it's text boxes that they're entering their information in, adding sticky notes to a big whiteboard, lots of different ways to really capture that thinking and show what they already know. Education whiteboard is a great search term. Brainstorm is also a search term. Lots of fun ones there. Same with mind mapping, so they can map those connections and see what they already know. And I think this crosses over into capturing their learning as well. I think so often we think mind map and we think this traditional web. We have lots of great mind maps this way, but also other ways to visualize those connections also. And then visual analysis with 100 million elements. There's hundreds and thousands of photos in our photo library. So being able to grab a stock photo that relates to a topic you're teaching, have student maybe drop it on a whiteboard and have students put sticky notes on there that shows what they might know or what they think they know about the picture or what's happening, what the main idea is, things like that. All right, then we have capture student learning. So we've activated prior knowledge. Now we're going to teach them those new concepts. And as they are learning, how are we capturing what they are learning? Through graphic organizers, that's one great way. And so I think someone said that in the chat from the list, lots of great graphic organizers. You can search for specific organizers like Venn diagram, compare contrast, problem solution, plot mountain, hexagonal thinking, you name it. We have templates for those. And what's nice is we also have so many graphic organizers. For example, this one here is about rocks. Maybe you don't teach science, but you really like the layout of this graphic organizer with just a few modifications in the text. You could easily bring this into any classroom. So that's the nice thing, as well as everything's fully customizable. Flashcards, lots of flashcards in the chat too from the list. So lots of easy ways to make flashcards. We have lots of great templates for those, as well as card sorting activities. But students can create their own. Again, they can hand draw or label things. They can use images. They can use text. They can use these digitally, or they can print those out as well. And then kind of the meat, this is really like the main thing, is that demonstration of learning. So what types of ways can they show what they know using Canva? One of those is resumes. So this might seem a little out there, but this is actually from a high school teacher who's fantastic, who does this every year. He does it twofold. He uses it to show research skills, so exactly how to gather information about something. And then he represents it, instead of just on a slide or something like that, in a resume. It's also great for resume skills. So teaching students the parts of a resume maybe, or things like that. So this can go multiple different ways. It could be public figure, historical figures. It could be a book character and gathering the information about them. So lots of fun ways to use resumes in the classroom. Infographics, this is how I started in Canva. I love our infographic templates. There are so many different types and ways to use these. You can use them to just show information. You can use them to show a timeline of something. I think so often we think infographic and we think vertical. We also have a lot of horizontal ones that are great for timelines or to show the process of something, like step by step how something happens. Just show events, show rules, whatever it might be. Lots of ways to, if they're gathering research or they're doing a lab where they have data, you can also create custom charts and put custom data on your infographics. You can even elevate these and you can animate your infographics. You can embed video in your infographic. So lots of ways to really kind of have some fun with these creations. Timelines, again, we talked about infographic timelines, but sometimes you need more space than what's in an infographic. So being able to use timelines on a whiteboard is really great. You can make those a little bit more interactive. And again, you can embed video into them. You can have animation. You can really kind of follow along the timeline of a story or an event or a time period or whatever that might be. Magazine covers, there's lots of great examples of this out there in kind of the social media world and all over, but lots of great ways. I just worked with elementary schoolers. They were, I think, in third grade, and they were researching presidents, and they got a magazine cover template. They put the picture of their president on there, then they had all the information surrounding it. So that's a really fun one as well. And then podcasting. So I love this project. There is sound on that one. So when I share the slides after, you can listen to it. It's actually 7th graders creating. But I taught ELA, and so I know there's a time and place for writing an essay and writing a full report, but also kind of podcasting can be really fun where they can take that essay and turn it into a script, or you could just have them write the script because essentially they're still writing that essay or that paper. They're gathering their evidence, they're supporting a claim, they're, whether it's argumentative, informational, research-based, whatever it might be, literary analysis. They can turn that into a script. They can, all within Canva, they can grab a podcast cover template. They can record themselves writing Canva, verbally, reading their script. They can add in music, like intro music or sound effects or anything like that, and they can do it all without leaving Canva. I've seen this even done as little as like 2nd grade with almost just like a book talk. So they had their script about their book and they were so excited to share the information, and so they could just hit record and share about their story. Explainer video. So love this because, again, this shows that video doesn't have to be a huge production. Canva has 100 million elements. There are so many like stock videos and stock photos that you could easily have students drop into a design. And with just a few graphics, text, and a little bit of animation, you have a whole video. It doesn't have to be a huge production. Again, students can record themselves in Canva so they could narrate over this if you wanted them to, or they could just have it kind of just with the motion here as well to really bring that concept to life. So really easy ways to have explanations around a topic, summarizing something, showing vocabulary words. Could be lots of different ways to use that. This one also has wonderful. This book trailers. I used to do a lot of book trailers when I taught as well. It took me like weeks to do them. This would be so much faster. Again, custom animations, recording yourself, using the graphics and the elements available. So easy to piece it all together and do it all in one space. Portfolios, having students create portfolios. There's portfolio presentations, there's portfolio scrolling websites, lots of ways for students to showcase their work. Or their understanding or their growth over time. So lots of fun ways for students to kind of have a really professional looking portfolio, whether that's for end of year, whether it's for post high school opportunities, lots of different options. Game presentation. So I think we often think game in the classroom and we think like that Jeopardy style game with the tiles and the amounts and things like that. We have lots of great templates for those. We also have so many other options. We have board game styles. We have trivia game styles. We have like this or that, and those icebreaker games. And so there's lots of ways to, warm ups and bell ringers, use these just at the end of the day to kind of close things out, whatever it might look like in your classroom. Game presentation, game board, lots of fun ones there. And then comic strips, these are some of my favorites as well. I did so many comic strips when I was in the classroom, and my kids were always in like 9 tabs trying to copy a background and find characters and piece it all together. Canva makes it so easy. Not only do we have templates that are either really blank if you want students to really kind of have their own freedom to dive in and create on their own, we also have kind of what this one is showing is a lot of templates that have resources built in. So this one, for example, has an example comic strip, a blank one, cats with no faces, then it has their faces, and then it has speech bubbles. So all students have to do is drag and drop or copy and paste. So if they're going to get really bogged down in that element library, you can find ones that have more of the scaffold built in. They can even elevate their comic strips by adding things like animation. I worked with 5th graders last spring, and they were taking pictures of themselves, removing the background and putting themselves into their comic strips. So having a lot of fun with it that way too. And then the last one, I promise I'm almost done with the slides. I know this one's a little slide heavy in the front, is reflecting in the classroom. So reflecting on our learning, which is such an important piece that often gets overlooked, but lots of great reflection templates. Again, these can be done whole group as formative assessment or exit tickets or independent learning. You can have students handwrite, type. They can even record themselves verbally sharing reflections on the unit, on the project, on the concept, on a group project, whatever it might be. Lots of great reflection templates. Okay, lots of talking from me. I want to dive in a little bit to our template library and give you a chance to explore. So I want to highlight just a couple things, and then I'll give you an opportunity to kind of see what you find. So when you log into Canva, which hopefully everyone was able to log in, again, I think you can go to canva.com, choose login with Google, use your school district Google information, and it should drop you into the right space. One thing I always share that's super important is students have access to all of this as well. It's all free to them. It is super important that they go to canva.com, choose login with Google, use their school credentials, and when they log in and when you log in this upper left-hand corner, you should see the name of your school district here. So you want to make sure you see, I believe it's school district and not individual school, but it could be schools, but I think it's district. But you should see something here that indicates that you are in that school district team. That's important, and especially for students, to make sure they're in that safe environment, in that education account. When you log in, you can use the search bar right here to find any of those templates that we just talked about. Anything off that list, you can just search for comic strip or t-shirt or whatever it might be. You can use these quick buttons to find and explore. And then on the left over here, we also have a templates tab as well. Under templates, this is our template library. So if you want to just kind of scroll and explore in here, you can. A couple things I want to highlight here, and then I'm going to give you some time to explore, is we have these ready to teach lessons, and these are new for us. So under that templates tab on the left, you have this ready to teach option. These are sorted into science, math, ELA, art, and future skills. And they're essentially like collections of templates geared to teach a specific topic. So maybe I'm going to teach color theory. It's going to give you a suggested grade level. Most of them are somewhere between K8. There are a few upper ones, but they're mostly K8. It'll show you what's included. This has a presentation, some flashcards, a collaborative whiteboard, and a worksheet. So you can kind of scroll through and see if any of these look interesting. Maybe you're teaching character analysis. This one has a presentation, a comic strip, and a graphic organizer. If you choose use this lesson, it's going to take all of these templates and put them into a folder for you, which then you can use. I believe y'all are using Google Classroom. You could share those out through Google Classroom with your students. So those ready to teach lessons are in here. There's also all these future skills that are really fun. There's different partnerships like with New York Times and NASA. There's stuff on executive functioning, financial literacy, scientific method, you name it. So there's lots of great ones in there. So that is our, under that templates tab, that's those ready to teach lessons. You can also browse by grade level or subject area if you want to kind of poke through there. Or as you scroll down, it's going to show you things. I was looking up Christmas planning things. So that's why it shows me those. I was working on presentations, things that are trending, things that are new, documents, presentations, video, infographics. So lots of those great infographic ones. Google Classroom headers, if you want to be creative and add some kind of designs to your Google Classroom headers, you can. Worksheets, lesson plans, schedules, calendars, group work. That is a fantastic search term that often doesn't get used. Lots of great group work templates to assign group projects or to work collaboratively. There's those resumes, newsletters, Zoom background. Oh, I like the snowman one. Brainstorms, mind maps again. And you can always search for anything you're looking for. So there's lots to explore in our template library. I do want to share one quick thing as well, just to kind of hopefully clarify actually, I'm going to pause that. We're going to come back to that in the end. Sharing, publishing, working with students, like all of those kind of workflow pieces, hold that thought and I will come right back to those. I want to share like maybe probably two tools, a couple tools that are important when you're thinking about using this with students that I think really can elevate a lot of these different projects and kind of some of the things I talked about. So I am going to look up comic strip just for fun and I will demo. You can open a design if you have a template open that you found, or you can just watch and follow along. But I do want to share when we're in a design, just a couple of the things that you has too. So when you open a template and you hit customize and you have a template or a design that's open, this is what it should look like. This is our design editor. It's going to look something like this. So if you have a design open, you should see something kind of similar to this. On the left-hand side, this menu is kind of where we live when we're creating in Canva. So a couple fun tools that you have. The first one's design. This is just our template library. Under elements over here, this is where you can add anything you want to your design. So our element library has 100 million elements in it. So you can add just about anything you can imagine. So you can search for absolutely anything. I don't know, maybe I want a butterfly. I can add a butterfly. It's going to show me graphics and photos and videos and all kinds of things. If I go into graphics, you'll notice we have animated graphics and we have static graphics. So maybe I like this little butterfly here. I'm going to put this one on here. And then he's kind of small, but that's okay. Let me make that a little bigger. And then maybe I also want a person. So I could type in person under elements and I'm going to get, or I could type in child or student, or maybe I want a hiking or a hiker. Maybe that's what my comic strip's about. I don't know. Whatever it is that you're looking for, you can type that in, but you can also be really specific. Maybe I want someone walking. I can type in walk and I'm going to get people that look like they're walking, but I'm also going to get animated graphics that look like they're walking. So with something like a comic strip or whatever it might be, I could be really creative. Let me zoom in a hair on these. And I could have a person that already looks like they're walking in my comic strip. I can have my little butterfly here. So under elements, again, I can search for all kinds of things. I can get really descriptive because there's 100 million elements to find exactly the style that I'm looking for. But we can take that one step further. And if you choose your element, so I added my little walking person here, across the top, you have some options. If you only see blank template, you guys can see my comic strip, right? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Making sure. Okay, I see lots of nods. Okay. If you opened a blank template, that's okay. I think maybe that was a message to me. But if you're seeing a blank one, then you just have a blank one, but you still should have all of these options over here. So this person that's walking, when I add this person to my design across the top, I have some options, and one of them is animate. So if I click on the page as a whole, I get page animations where I can animate the entire page. But if I select a specific object, like my little guy here, and then I have more options for animations for just this element. And one of them is this create an animation. And I think this is really an awesome tool So I can choose create an animation. Again, I have to be selected on an object. And not only is this little guy animated, but I can animate him even further, and I can drag the path that I want him to move. Maybe he's walking, maybe he hops into the next box and keeps going. The faster it goes, the slower I draw and change the speed. But you control that animation. You can do the same with my butterfly. Again, I select an object, choose animate at the top, choose that create an animation, and then I can have my little butterfly floating around. If I toggle this little switch on, the butterfly kind of follows the path, so it flips around. So it's kind of fun. So you can really bring designs to life using just our animated graphics, but also then animating them further. Great to just be creative, but also really great to demonstrate their understanding. They can show the process of something. They can show, like how food moves through the body, or on a map, they can show, the path of something, whatever it might be. They can use it to show their understanding or just be a little bit creative. So again, any object on here, it could be anything. It could be even just a basic shape, literally anything in here that you add. We'll add a little Santa in here for fun. If I add him in here, I can, and if you add him, choose animate, create an animation, and I can animate the path that I want him to follow. So that's kind of fun. The other thing under elements that I want to very quickly highlight is this AI image generator. This is also really great for students who have this vision in their head and they're just not finding what they're looking for in our photo library or in our element library and things like that. They can come into elements, go into this AI image generator and generate their own. Sorry, that new pop-up. So you can describe something. So I love seeing students do this for comic strips or for stories or for whatever it might be. And it's really good. So again, I was working with fifth graders in the spring writing science fiction stories. So they had all these crazy things in their head. So maybe I really want a picture of dogs having dinner in outer space. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we get. I could type in whatever it is I'm looking for, be really searching the web. It's actually creating images longer than normal. But maybe I really want dogs eating dinner in outer space. There we go. Here's my astronaut dogs. They're pretty cute. Also pretty good. So there you go. And so maybe I want this, and I'm going to add this to my design, and then I'm going to add text over it. This one's kind of a funky shape compared page, but that's okay. Can I add text? You absolutely can. You can go over here to text on the left, and I can add text boxes over the top. I can add speech bubbles if I want to. When you create topic, you can go into styles. These are kind of like filters. So neon and retro are great for like science fiction. Playful is really great for more cartoon-like. If you're writing like a cartoon story, there's lots of fun ones. I always share this stained glass. The kids will find it. They love putting animals in stained glass. For whatever reason, they think that's really funny. So that's probably the least applicable, but there is like this filter in here too. So those are fun to use as well. So Magic Media is our AI image generator, which also lives under Elements. And then the last tool one of the last tools I really want to highlight, because I think it is so important. I'm going to add a second page just to have something here. We'll put text on this page just so we know. Is this one kind of gets lost and gets buried. And it's over here on the left under uploads. So it gets a little bit hidden. It's over here on the left under uploads. So under uploads, you can bring in your own pictures, video, or audio that you want to use in a design. So if you want pictures, if you add one of those text to image pictures to your design, it will actually save it to your upload. Prompt earlier when I did a different session was elephants in snowsuits sledding. So there's my little elephants. They're pretty cute. So if you add it to your design, it will save it for you in uploads. But the other button in uploads in most design types, if you don't see it, it doesn't exist in every single design, but it's in the majority of them. And that is this record yourself. So you have the ability to record yourself right in Canva. Again, students have this too. It gets buried because it's kind of hidden under uploads. But I have to turn this camera off real fast. Under uploads and record yourself, it drops you in to our recording studio. You have filters, which is really fun. So if you want it to look a little bit like maybe you're in a historical time period or older, you can turn yourself black and white. You can have skin smoothing because who doesn't want that once in a while? Some fun ones there. You can actually turn the camera off and just record your voice and not your face. It does leave an icon here. In the top, you have this option for camera and a screen or just screen. So if you want to screen record any screen in Canva, it doesn't have to be Canva itself, any screen open on your computer. Then you just hit record. So you can hop in, hit record, and students can record over any design. They can navigate to the next page or between the pages in their design. And when they're done and they hit done and save, and students can, it drops those right onto the design. And my favorite part is that it breaks that video apart for you to the next. So it knows where I changed pages and it broke that video apart for me. So what's great about that is it saves them as 2 shorter video clips here. So if a student records 5 or you record 5 slides or 10 slides or whatever it is, and you mess up somewhere, if you delete one, it doesn't impact any of the rest of them. So you can you only have to re-record the one you messed up on. So it breaks it apart for you. So I just deleted the one on this page. It didn't do anything to this one. That video is still here in my upload. So if I wanted to bring it back, if I accidentally deleted it, it's still available under my uploads as well. So uploads, record yourself, breaks the video apart for you. Is there a limit on length? Really great question. I don't think so, to be honest. I have not run out of time, but I also haven't tried like really lengthy individual recordings. But I know I've had like 40-minute tutorials that have lots of these independent recordings on it, and it's been fine. So I don't know about exact length, but I don't think there's a limit. I do know, because I'm going to take this one step further. Any video that I upload, any video I add to Canva, I have this edit video option over here on the left. I can take the background out with one click, no green screen required. So again, I can record myself and I can take the background out. We also have background remover for photos. There is a limit for that. It is 90 seconds. The video has to be 90 seconds or less for the background remover to work. So that I do know. So look, took my background right out. I know this is a short clip. It was pretty quick, but then I could put myself in my comic strip if I wanted to. I can add myself right in there. So super easy to do. So I think record yourself under uploads and animate are 2 of the better kind of more important tools that are available, but you also have things like draw over here on the left. And then under apps, you can explore lots of things. Translate is in here. QR code generators are in here. All kinds of things. Okay, I want to talk sharing and publishing really quick, so that was a lot of the questions, and then I'll make sure there's no last questions. One thing to note is when you're on Canva's homepage or when you're in this projects tab, you might see your classes listed somewhere in here. Maybe you see them as a folder. You do not have to have classes in Canva to work with students, especially because y'all are Google Classroom, which makes it so much easier. So ways that you would share and publish, under the share button here in the upper right corner, you can share directly with a person. If you just want one person to look at your design, you just type in their name or email and share. If you want to collaborate with each other, with colleagues, or if you want students collaborating, you would change this. So you can change it so anyone in your district can edit. Copy that link, paste it. Students can work together. You can have up to 50 people working together. You can see in real time who's editing. So if you have groups working or whatever that might look like. One great management strategy is if you're working with students and you open up this edit link. So you're working, students are collaborating, but then I taught middle school. So maybe when they leave my classroom, I don't want them editing anymore when I'm not watching them. You can come in here and change this back from an edit link to a view link. So they can see everything they've done, but they can't edit when they're not with you. So that's a really great management tool. You can create a public view link. You have this option, but students do not, where anyone with the link can view your design, no Canva sign-in required. So public view link, that's what this means. If you just want parents to look at it or students to look at it, you can create the view link. If you want to print, you download it first and print it from a PDF or an image file. And then under share and more, there's a couple important options. You have template link here. Template link forces a copy for anybody who has that link. So template link forces a copy. You also have another way to record yourself. You have a couple things, but if you scroll down under that share and then more, you have a Google Classroom button. So Google Classroom is actually embedded into Canva. It's pretty amazing. I could pick Google Classroom. It's going to bring up, sometimes it works for me. I have a sandbox, but it should show you your classes that you have. And then you can choose an action. If you create an assignment, it's going to automatically generate that template link. So it will force every kid to make their own copy. So if you want every student to have their own copy of something for independent work, you can share it as an assignment. Students get their own version, they work on it. If you want them to submit it back, the key is you have to put a due date on the assignment. You can change it. I think they can submit after the due date, but they can't submit if there's not a due date for whatever reason. If you post it as a question, announcement, or material, these are view-only versions of that design. So you could post it this way too. It's a view-only version in your course. So share Google Classroom. Template is that assignment feature. Template link, you could post the link if you just want them. If you want them to start from scratch in Canva and find their own templates, they could always submit to a Google assignment using the view link. Anyone can view, or if they want to give you editing rights, they can take that link, submit it to a Google assignment, or they can download, upload. Okay, I'm going to pause. Are there any last questions? Drop them in the chat about sharing and publishing or working with students or anything that you might need to see again. Just make sure. The other thing, while I'm waiting to see if we get any questions, we do have a whole teacher resource page. It's linked to my slides, which I know will get shared out, but I'll also drop it in here if you want to bookmark it. This is our one-stop shop for everything Canva. This is a fantastic resource. We have a self-paced course if you're brand new to Canva and you want to learn a little bit more how to use it. Okay, this is great. There is a student self-paced course. So if you want to get your kids in and you're not sure how to do it and you don't feel confident really teaching them, get them in this course. It's really short. They can do it kind of quickly. It really helps them understand how to use Canva. So this is great as well. It's on, all of this is on the link that I just dropped in the chat. So the teacher self-paced course is under that teacher resource page, which I just put in the chat. It's right here. It says getting started with Canva teacher course. And then there's the student course as well. Then we have lots of great brand new guides on all of our AI tools in here. We have a whole thing on Magic Write. We have cheat sheets. We have video tutorials. We have student resources. It's a really fantastic kind of one-stop shop.